So I started these videos really originally as kind of a way to like document my journey through my discovery of my autistic self, and just to kind of bring that out, to maybe, understand myself more, but also to kind of shed some light on what an autistic person looks like in real life. So you'll notice one of the things that I don't really do too much in my videos is like look at the camera. I find looking even at myself in the eyes really difficult. So I don't really do it too much when I videotape, because if I was doing it, it would be like a masked version of myself. I can do it. I can switch it on, like I can in my work life or whatever. And if I have to do presentations and stuff, I can be very engaging and like lots of eye contact and jokes and be really animated. And just like, I know the recipe to use to make people respond well to me. But that's not what I'm trying to do here. So I wanted to kind of say that because I think one of the things that has been difficult for other people as I kind of be more of my authentic self, like in all areas of my life, is they kind of don't understand, or they think when I'm acting like myself like I am here or whatever, that I've changed or something. And I guess I have changed, but it's more like who I am versus more than like the role I was playing before. And I, like, some people are a bit uncomfortable with that, but as like people I normally interact with, maybe the version of me that I am here is different than they're used to. So anyways, it doesn't bother me so much anymore. It used to in the beginning, like bother me a little bit that it seemed like people were only friends with me because of how palatable I presented myself. But as I've come kind of more to accepting like the true authentic version of me, I just kind of know that, who the person that is going to connect with me on a level that I really do desire connection, which is like deep, authentic connection, are going to be the people that accept me when I show up as myself. And they have like allowance or like space for that. And the people that can't, I wouldn't have been able to have the depth of relationship that I would have wanted to anyways. So it's fine for them to kind of like pull away or avoid me or whatever. It just means that like it'll just be more room for people that do. I have like limited amounts of energy anyways. I need a lot of alone time. So I don't have a ton of energy to kind of like disperse across people. I don't know if all autistic people are like that. I am, and the other autistic people that I know are, but it could be that, extroverted autistics are different and they have more energy or bandwidth or whatever. But anyways, I kind of wanted to start with that and like just, because I know that a lot of autistic people struggle with the taking off the mask and then feeling like that rejection from that. People that they thought that they were friends, like when they show up as themselves, they get rejected. And I just want to, like, I'm trying to, like, you know, initially I went through a lot of that, like, sad feelings about it, but I'm now, like, totally comfortable with it just being, like, redirection, how I see it instead of rejection. Anyways, the other thing I wanted to talk about that I have been experiencing lately, so I live in a small town in a very rural area, and but I think the majority of people are fairly open-minded, but we experienced some tumultuous times in our school system recently. I have 2 school-age children, so for me, dealing with gender issues and, like, acceptance and all of that stuff is, like, really important to me, and I am somebody who allows, like, space for people to express themselves how they choose to, whether in whatever way they choose to present themselves. I really do feel like gender is a human construct, and we made it up, so anybody can show up in the way that they show up, because it's not really a real thing. Anyways, it's a categorization system that makes some people feel more comfortable. I don't know if this is true for all autistic people, but a lot of them. And when I read books written by autistic people, and I visit forums for autistic people, I find that there's, like, a very wide level of expression in gender, and I think that as a whole, autistic people are just more likely to express themselves outside of the stereotypical social categorized binary structure, because I think that our internal world is so varied and complex that we don't really have a problem understanding that the external world is varied and complex, and everybody else's internal world is varied and complex. And I also think that we have, like, a very strong sense of our own self and own internal world, that it's less like that we are adhering to social norms and social constructs. We have, like, people, we do, but oftentimes, at least for me, when I do that, I feel more, like, uncomfortable and faked. It's like my masked version of myself. So I had an experience recently. I myself don't feel male nor female. I would categorize myself as non-binary, as when I'm alone, I do feel like non-gendered. I don't feel like when I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you that I am female. I don't feel like I am male. I feel like just me. And I think that that's a very common experience as an autistic person. And it's frustrating for me to have to try to adhere to some, what I see as some arbitrary structure. of categorization. I do understand that other people feel more comfortable in categorized roles, and I accept that entirely. I don't feel like my experience internally should be pressed upon somebody else's experience. Recently, though, we had an incident in our school system where a trans person was being discriminated against by other children in the school system, and then was backed up by some of the parents of the child that was saying things against a trans person. So it kind of it hit home really hard for me, and I, had to respond. I chose to respond to some people that I thought would be accepting of these differences in, and I explained how I was non-binary, and I was so surprised at the response I got back from people that I kind of thought were more open-minded than they actually are, and just kind of forcing what I felt like forcing their categorizations onto me to choose that, and saying like I'm either a male or a female. You can't just, it's the way you're born and whatever. And it just felt really concerning. And I wanted to bring it up here because I feel like I believe it's just a difference of how our brains function. There are people that really do feel like more comfortable in a category and knowing the category of other people. I think it's more a neurotypical view of the world. It makes things easier for them. It makes, their social interactions easier for them if they can know where everybody fits. I do believe that is how their brains work, and I accept that is something that is important for them to feel like they fit into a category. And I don't know, but probably when they're alone and they think about what gender they are, they think about their outward appearance of their gender, and that's how they feel as a person. But I do think that there is another way that brains can work, and that is the way my brain works, and I know other people's brain works, is that when they're alone, they're sitting alone, they don't feel like a specific thing, or they feel like the way that they are externally presenting isn't the way that their brain feels like. So I think that autistic people are just much better at understanding this and are just better at grasping all of the variety of expression. And I think it's one of the most beautiful things about neurodivergent people and autistic people. I think that this applies to neurodivergent people too, because I know people that have other neurotypes that are not autistic but also have allowances for this. And as much as some of the things about being autistic I've struggled with, like learning and accepting and growing in them, this is one of the things that like I do believe that we are social justice warriors, because we are able to see all the nuances and like differences and the complexities of people and life and structures and things, and understand that it can be different, or it doesn't have to be a certain way. And it's just, I'm realizing now that, like, you know, I have kind of flown under the radar a lot, and with like my autism for sure, and then my gender identity, and just to make it easier for myself. But after this incident at the school, and I think about my children, and I think about, you know, other people's children and everybody else that has experienced this, like, real kind of hate that I experienced when I revealed that I was non-binary. It's imperative for me to live authentically and express my true self. And because I am autistic, I don't feel the strong need to, or it's not even the strong need, is that I cannot be like neurotypical people, and I honestly don't want to. That I have a responsibility to advocate for different viewpoints, and so I don't feel like I'm going to accept any or entertain or put any energy into people that are going to be discriminating against people that do feel differently. And I do feel like it's like a call to justice. And I think that if anybody can do this and can change people's viewpoints, it is autistic people, because I think we have the capacity to like hold all of the expressions and feelings of people and life, and I think it takes a complex inner world to like change the complex outer world, and it's not easy to navigate, but I think that we are more qualified to do it than a lot of other people, and not excluding anybody who wants to be an advocate at all. I would welcome neurotypical advocacy. It's just not common. But anyways, I don't really have a point to this video, except for that I just feel like it's more, I do feel like I've been more stepping into myself as an autistic person, and the gender identity stuff is like come up and been a part of it. So I hope that like this resonates with somebody out there, and if you can get connected with an autistic advocacy group, you'll probably find a lot of LGBTQ people there, and if you are LGBTQ, then I support you. I'm one of you, and I really, really do hope that things like what happened here aren't part of my children's growth as people, because if I'm autistic, I'm pretty sure, you know, my son is, and I don't know about my daughter yet. She's still developing, but it's highly likely that, you know, they will be impacted by this in ways, and I hope that they're able to see like the benefits and the positive parts of it, then going through all of the difficulties that I went through as a kid and as a young adult, and even still today, with like discrimination. So anyways, I hope you all have a good day. It's more of a, I don't know, a introspective kind of a day for me. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.